Good evening everybody, how are we all doing? I hope having a good week so far. Today is Tuesday, 11th of November 2014. Happy Veterans Day for everybody out there, to all who have served, currently serving, and for those who will be serving, we salute you. Okay, so here we are, Gotham, The Mask. Last night's episode was quite interesting. The 8th episode in the series so far, and it was very interesting. It's a precursor clearly to, you know, Black Mask. The character Richard Sionis features in here, who I think it clearly has to be the father of one Roman Sionis, I believe. And it could be an older brother. But the way that the episode opens up, we see two men dressed in sort of like office outfits, you know, white shirts, black trousers, you know, suspenders and stuff. But they're wearing ski masks to hide their faces. And then we suddenly see the pair of them start hitting each other with like various office equipment around them. One of them does get killed, and it turns out it's some sort of initiation, and it's run by none other than Richard himself. It's his business company called Sionis Investments. Jim and Bullock decide to you know, pay Sionis Investments a visit. We see that Richard has a whole range of samurai masks and other bits of expensive memorabilia, but he reads into Gordon, and he knows that Gordon is like you know, a war veteran of some sort, and how he's coaxing him about, you know, how it feels to kill people. And Gordon is saying, you know, you've killed people clearly, haven't you? Whilst Richard doesn't actually admit it straight out, Gordon has a feeling that something's definitely not right about this, and especially when one of the guys who was dead at the beginning of the episode, it's like, well, okay, something's definitely up here, and he's gonna look further into it. Especially when they actually find one of the said dead body with a chopped off thumb inside his mouth. Go figure. I don't think he was hungry, to be honest, but never mind. What else have we got? Edward Nigma. He's been, I think this is probably, other than, oh, was it The Balloon Man, I believe, was the episode that he was in. It was another, or I can't remember which episode he was in, a couple of episodes ago anyway. I think this is another episode where I feel his presence wasn't forced. Again, he had a reason to be here. He was actually useful. He obviously told, you know, he advised the GCPD that there were 4 killings just like this in the past 3 years. So it's clearly someone's obviously been racking up the bodies over the past few years. And you know, Edward Nigma was like the first one to realise that. He actually performs an autopsy on the body, and yeah, it was actually a bad idea for him to do that, because he got caught by the other guy who works at the morgue. So that was him promptly told off. But yeah, I thought in this episode Nigma actually played his part pretty well. Fish Mooney and Penguin, they pretty much come at loggerheads. Penguin presents Fish with a brooch, but she uses that to attack him in a way. But then he gets his own back on her, not directly, indirectly. We also find that Liza is not comfortable with the role that she's having to play in terms of getting, you know, one up for Fish Mooney against Carmine Falcone. Sorry, I keep saying Falcone. I can't say Falcone. It's Falcone. But yeah, we see at one point where she actually wants out, but Fish is saying no, you can't, because she eventually tells Liza the full story of why she is getting revenge, or wanting to get rid of Falcone. So it's quite an interesting story. There is also an old lady that features in this episode who is, like, you know, auditioning to be in Fish's club, but I sense that this woman may actually have a lot more in common with Fish than we're led to believe. We may see her again in future episodes, who knows. We also find that Penguin's mother is in this episode, and they have a bit of a chat. But what's funny is that the brooch that Penguin presents to Fish, then he presents it to his mother. It's like, dude, make your mind up. Which one do you want to give it to? Your enemy or your mum. You know, you can't give it to both of them. So I guess it's because, you know, Fish didn't actually want the brooch, so he decided to give it to his mother instead. Because your mother's second best, isn't she now, Penguin? But may I just take a moment again to say how awesome Robin Lord Taylor and also Jada Pinkett Smith are running this show right now with their roles as both Oswald Cobblepot and Fish Mooney respectively. It's just brilliant. It really is brilliant to see this, such different sides of these characters. It's just amazing. It really is brilliant. And on the other side, we've got Bruce Wayne. He's gone back to school. Alfred takes him back to school, and he meets, or we are introduced to, a future villain of his, one known as Tommy Elliot. I'm sure everybody knows who he becomes eventually in you know, when he grows up. But even at early age, according to this, they were already at loggerheads. You know, Tommy is coaxing and provoking Bruce about his mother. He talks absolute crap about his mother, of which then Bruce retaliates. He slaps him to begin with, but then that's it. And then, but later on, when Alfred comes to pick up Bruce at school, he notices that he's really upset about something, and Alfred allows Bruce, he allows him to lash out properly on Tommy, and as a warning, mainly, especially from Alfred. It was more of a warning to Tommy. You know, he actually says, you know, that you've got to understand that this was basically a warning to you, Tommy, for what Bruce is doing. And even then, later on, we see Bruce actually tells Alfred that he enjoyed beating the crap out of Tommy. And then, well, whilst it's not a good idea to promote violence in a child, you have to understand that Bruce has just lost his parents. He watched them die in cold blood in front of his eyes. What does that do to a 12-year-old kid? Seriously, you don't know what's going on in his mind. So I guess that was his, you know, to lash out as he did against Tommy, that was his only opportunity to really let the rage out. So it's now going to come to the point of where, can Alfred not only teach him how to fight, but allow him to control his anger? Because we saw at the beginning of the show, of the series, in like the first couple of episodes, where Bruce and Alfred are sword fighting, you know, and Alfred is coaxing him, he's saying, come on, really let it out, and then you see Bruce lash out. And that's like a sign of things to come. And again, the same thing happens in this episode as well. So, yeah, some people might not be happy about that direction regarding Bruce. Others might think, you know what, no, I think he's going somewhere. But who knows, we'll see. What else have we got? So, yeah, it's definitely all coming to a head, to be perfectly honest. It's intriguing. So, and with Gordon as well, in particular, Barbara, she's starting to find ways to, how should I put it, protect herself. Gordon is worried about his missus, as he should be. But you know, what else can you do? It is one of those things. So, yeah, but a really good episode again. Next week we see Harvey Dent come into the foray. I did say in last week's review that Harvey was going to be in this week's episode. I thought he was, but he wasn't. So it's actually going to be next week is when we'll see Harvey Dent. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you all very much for watching. See you all very soon. Bye.